All right, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm happy to help. However, you're currently running ads for investors, or what is? Tell me what you're working on.
No, I'm actually in mortgage niche.
Oh, mortgage. Okay, yeah, I can take a look at it.
Yeah. So
I'm
let me
familiar
just share my screen here. Can you just give me permission?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. By the way, man, thanks for making YouTube videos, bro. Like, it is very valuable.
Oh yeah, no problem. Let's see, we
Uh,
got another person coming in here.
okay. Okay, so this is for FHA. You know FHA VA loans.
You have what?
So I'm running one campaign, one ad set, and 6 ads.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay, so you sent me some screenshots of this. Is there anything specific about the campaign that you're struggling with, or that I had a question about, or are you just looking for kind of general advice on it?
So first thing is that I'm only tracking high credit leads, 620 plus credit and 30K plus income. However, I've got total 62 leads, and out of 62, 24 leads are qualified. So total cost per lead is $20. However, if we just calculate all of the leads with a low credit, the total CPL is around $8. So I'm not sure like is this high or low, but I want to know that like which one should I keep running, or like is there any bottleneck in the metrics so that I can improve.
Got it. Okay, yeah, let me do your request remote access.
Yeah.
And so I can just look around if that's okay. I just want to look
Sure.
at what you've got going here. Okay. So let me just see how you have the campaign set up and just kind of what you're doing in general.
Yeah, sure.
Oops. Okay. So wait for that to load. Sometimes Zoom can make it a little bit slower to load, unfortunately. Do you have anything else running in the background, or is it just Facebook?
No, just Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit slow.
You can just refresh this.
I'd have to refresh it.
Let's see. Yep.
Okay, there we go. All right. So you've got it on the housing category. That's good. Okay. Okay, so you're doing Advantage campaign budget, total budget of $20. I think for any niche, this is fairly low. Usually I'd like to start at least $30 a day, but it depends. Sometimes it's fine. Doing Advantage campaign budget can be, sometimes it works just fine. Other times I most of the time I'll start and I'll turn this off when I first start. Okay, so you have one ad set though. Let's look at that. Might have to refresh each time to get this to show up. There we go. All right, so this is a good audience size. That's totally fine. I think you're doing it to the website. So do you have conversion tracking set up properly on the website?
Yeah. Can I just open Chrome browser? You can see in tags. You can see Chrome below. Yeah, I can show you my Goa level. So basically, I'm tracking high quality leads, 620 plus credit and higher income. Okay.
Is the but did you verify their domain on Facebook, and you set up the business management and all that? Okay, so it's prioritized properly. Cool. What is this doing? This is still loading. Yeah, it's kind of hard because it's really, really slow to load. I don't know. So I just gotta wait.
Hmm.
There we go. Okay, so maximize conversions. You gotta prioritize for lead. Dynamic creatives off, that's fine. Okay, so you're doing statewide in Minnesota, so that's gonna give you
Yes.
a wide audience.
Yes.
All languages, I usually set this to English, especially in the real estate niche.
Mhm.
You know, I think that's usually gonna help. But I mean, it's just kind of depends on how you want to do it. Manual placements, for mortgage, Facebook newsfeed is fine. Facebook stories. Are you doing anything like a video?
Yeah, I have one ad on for video.
Okay, so yeah, then stories is fine for that. If you're doing video, I would test a totally different ad set if you're gonna do video. So for example, images. For images, I would only do Facebook newsfeed, and then for video, I would either try advantage placement, or I would put it on. I would select all the different video. Like I would do Facebook video feeds. I would do reels, stories. You know, anything that has to do with video, I would select. So I would actually split that apart.
But the thing is that budget is only $20. So
Right. So
if
that's
I
why.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's why when in this, so what you could do is you could test a different, basically build a different campaign. So here you would duplicate this campaign, you would turn this off.
Yeah.
Then you set your budget at the ad set level, and you can just test one ad set at a time. Does that make sense? But
So I need to turn off one ad set at one time, right?
well, it looks like you're getting leads right now with this campaign, right? So I would keep that running. I wouldn't make changes there. But I would definitely, if you want to test video alone, I would set your campaign up differently. So I would do a second campaign to test it. I would turn off the advantage campaign budget option. I would set your budget at the ad set level, and I would only have the one ad there for video, but I would change your placements to all the video options, or I would do basically let Facebook, do the advantage placements.
Okay.
If just to test video, does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so let's look at your ads here. We got number one. And I see we got a couple other people here that joined. If you guys have questions, feel free to raise your hand, put them in the chat. I'm happy to just kind of go through whatever. Let's refresh this. Okay, so let's just kind of get an idea. So stop paying around free program review. I'm just trying to get an idea of the type of ads you're running. Okay, so here's something that I would definitely do differently. You don't have dynamic creative selected in your ad set, right?
Yeah.
So, but you're using 1, 2, 3, 4 different ad copies and 3 different headlines, 2 descriptions. The problem with this is that in the actual ad account, unless you select dynamic creative, you're not going to be able to see which is doing better. You're not going to be able to see the data.
No, I can see this from breakdown.
Does it let you?
Yeah.
Let me check. Maybe Facebook updated that, but the last time that I checked, I think that.
No, we can see that. Yeah. You can just close this one and.
I might have to refresh.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing great.
Lovely. Sorry I was late. I guess I'm missing on some stuff. What's happening here, please?
Yeah, so this is just his some of his ads that he's running. And I'm just basically looking at him and just seeing if I can provide any feedback. These ones, this is for mortgage. This is a mortgage loan officer, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
you can basically change the ad account and go back to this one again. Okay, yeah. You can see
Yeah.
breakdown there. Yeah, dynamic creative text. Text, because we are only using one images.
Okay, good. So it does let you. Last time that I checked this, it might have been a while ago. Facebook did not allow you to do this unless you selected dynamic creative. So that's great. Okay, so you're testing a bunch. Okay, so the thing is, like, you've got leads coming in. That's fine. The only thing is you're only spending $20 a day and you're splitting it between a lot of different stuff. I would normally recommend a higher budget for that, or test one thing at a time. That's normally the way I do it. Let's just get rid of the breakdowns for a second. But let's just look at your metrics here. So what I look at for the metrics, these are all pretty low cost per click. So, I mean, that's doing fine. In my opinion, these are all good, doing good. I don't think, click-through rate looks good. These are all fairly low. It looks like you're able to get, CPM is good. All of this is going to be fine because you're doing statewide. So I think that because you're doing statewide, like, honestly, what I would do with this campaign, let's see, your cost per lead, you've got 16. Yeah, I mean, you're doing fine. Like, I would start to shut off what's not working. And basically, like, if you look at your breakdown and look at where are the leads coming in, right? Like, if we look at the text again, because that was the main thing. So
by the way, these are landing page lists.
Landing pages, yeah. So if we go down to here, I mean, you just want to start to get an idea of which ad copies are working best. Right. So it looks like 1, 2, there's like 3 that you're getting leads from.
Yeah, but the thing is that Facebook didn't spend much amount. You can see there is only $0.37, $2.46. So
that's okay. Yeah, that doesn't matter. You just want to, basically with the ad copy, you just want to determine which ones are actually getting you leads. That's the main thing. And then what you want to do is, you would want to, like, you could basically duplicate this this ad set and run the same ads that are getting leads, remove everything that is not getting leads, and then just test those against each other. So that way the budget is being funneled into what was already working, and then you can slowly over time start to eliminate things based on performance. If you're going to keep doing like dynamic creative kind of stuff, right?
So let's say if I just remove all of these copies that are not working and then duplicate this ad set and turn this current off, and I need to do turn on the, I would say, like the next ad set that I made, right?
So basically you'd want to duplicate this, and then when you're editing your ads, just look at what has already gotten you leads, right? So this one, this image plus this ad copy that got leads. You basically use this image, take out video because it looks like you got nothing from the video, right?
No, like the amount spent on video is like a 0.86 only.
You haven't spent much, yeah, but that doesn't matter. You're gonna have to test that separately anyways, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
So the video you'll test separately because you do want to put budget towards it to test it. But just right now, you can already see like this has gotten 2 leads at $7. So you're going to use this. You're going to put this image. You're going to put this ad copy. You're going to take this one out. You're going to take this out. You're going to use this image here. And you're going to include this ad copy, this image, and these ad copies that got results. Put that all into just one ad. Right now you're running like 5 ads at once. So you're going to duplicate your ad set. You're going to test just one ad, dynamic creative, with those options, and just run that one separately, right? Maybe you can even, you could even do it in a new campaign if you wanted. I think that might actually be better to do a new campaign because, again, like the way that you're doing this right here is you've only got a $20 budget, and if you don't want to split that $20 budget between 2 ad sets, that's going to be too much. So like this, I would honestly just create a new campaign. Again, turn off campaign, the campaign, what is it, advantage budget option. so that you can control your budget at the ad set level. So you can test multiple ad sets at the same time and have a budget each separately for each. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
And then what you want to do is, again, just keep split testing. Like the way to do testing with dynamic creative is to start with a bunch of stuff like you did, but then you have to narrow it down. You have to start filtering out the things that aren't working. Another thing you could do is just, you could just keep running this, but turn off the ones that aren't generating any ads or sorry, any leads. Like this one, this has already spent $21 here.
Yeah.
This has already spent 12. Like I would turn these off already. I would just turn those off. There's no reason to have those on. You're already getting leads here. Right. So that's honestly, that's what I would do. The only other thing to look at is how much are you qualifying your leads, like in the quality. So are you communicating with your client on the lead quality?
Yeah, I mean, like my client has took 4 applications and he just pre-approved one, looking to purchase home within a week. So lead quality is good. However, the second issue is like a appointment show up. So we actually do phone call appointments, but like around only 60% people pick up the phone.
Yeah, which is that's a fairly common ratio for Facebook. But you guys are doing this. This is going to a
yeah, you can just click there, no worries.
This is going to his landing page. I'm assuming they're
Yes.
using for like phone number and all that stuff. Okay,
Yeah,
so this is like a go high level.
Yeah, we I can also show you my go high level funnel.
Okay, well, I mean, just as long as you're this is great. Survey style works great. I use something similar. Not for this niche, but as long as you're qualifying like this is good. So I wouldn't really, if the quality is fine, I wouldn't change anything. I would just start narrowing down on what's working well that you're already doing and try not to use campaign budget. Like I always do, just like I said, I set the budget at the ad set level. Unless you have enough budget to do dynamic testing, but then even then you don't want to do that forever, right?
Okay. So all right. So can you just review the second ad account, which is for VA? I mean, like cost per lead seems pretty high on that, but can you just see that?
You have another one, a second one?
Yeah, second one.
Okay, let me see if anyone else had, or I wanted to go over some ads first, and then we'll come back. Does that work?
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so let's see, Max or Solat, did you guys have any? Am I pronouncing that right? Solat?
That's correct. Solat.
Okay. Did you guys have any ads you wanted to go over, or are we just gonna?
Greg, I'm trying to set my AirPod first. Let's go through Max, and I'm gonna just get back to you ASAP.
Oh yeah, that's no problem. Max said he has no questions. How's it going, Max? It's been a while. Let's see here. Yeah, so if you've got no questions, I mean, I'm happy to look at anything. So yeah, we can go back to your second ad account. Harsh, too.
Yeah. Okay, just a second, man. Yes.
Yeah, AirPods have always had a problem with Zoom and the audio. Every person that I talk to on Zoom always has issues with it. I don't know why.
Man, like it's going back and forth to my cell phone, like
yeah,
just like it's a ping pong game with the AirPods. So
right.
Okay, lovely. I guess Max is started. I'm gonna be the next, so I'm gonna go on mute for now.
Okay, sure. Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So the thing is that these 3 campaigns are ran by our client's previous agency. So
okay.
I don't want anything with. I mean, like I have no issues with that. But however, this 1, 2, 3 are run by us, and let me just. I'm sorry.
What kind of business is it?
SMM.
Oh, it's just same type of business, just a different ad account.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is for VA loans. However, this is the same client, I mean, loan officer. We had a campaign and cost per lead was around $25. Seems like that campaign was got deleted.
Okay, let me look at this again. Are they running, so this is a different ad account for the same client,
No, different client.
a different client, okay.
Yeah,
But
this client is from, this client is licensed in Florida, Georgia, and Indiana. So we are targeting 3 states.
Okay, but it's for a different type of,
Yeah, this is for VA loans for veterans. No, zero down payment.
got it, okay. All right, so let's see what we've got here. So again, I'm just gonna look at everything. Their budget, what's $15 a day?
Yeah, 15. Yeah, very low by the way.
Yeah, I guess for this niche, maybe that works. Maybe that's fine because it looks like your cost per lead is lower in general.
Yeah. So actually the issue I was facing was the CPL for first week always stay low, but after weeks and weeks, it will get higher and higher.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, that just comes down to doing more testing. Okay, so again, you have this turned on. I normally don't run my campaigns using this.
So if I have $15 per day to spend, so I do by ad.
So if you have $15, then you would just basically, you would set your budget at the ad set level instead. But again, if you're getting results right now with this campaign, don't turn things off, right? If something is working well, don't change it. Just add something else or test, you can test 2 things at once and maybe turn one of them off if one is doing better. But generally, if something's doing well, you don't want to turn it off. Your audience size is really large, which is fine. Facebook likes that. Facebook likes really large audience sizes. You've got all this, that's all fine. Dynamics off. You've got 3 states. That's going to be so much. There's going to be so I guess mortgage loan officers can work with people from anywhere in the state, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's great. I mean, with a real estate investor niche, sometimes it's a little bit more tricky because, investors don't want leads out in the middle of nowhere where they can't move deals. So we have to play around with the targeting sometimes.
Yeah.
But this makes it easier on you, especially. Again, I would set this to English, especially because you have a really wide.
No, the thing is that the client is Spanish, so he can also deal with Spanish leads.
In that case, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. Let's see here. So is this video as well as?
Only images.
So I didn't hear that. Say again.
Images.
Just images. Okay, so again, you can test advantage versus manual and see how that does. I normally start with manual placements and just do Facebook newsfeed, but you can test. Like if advantage is working better for this type of ad, then that's fine. Again, it just comes down to testing. All right, so these are your 2 ads. Let's start with this one. It looks like this is the first one. And these are similar to the other ones I just looked at, right?
Yeah, creatives and copies are different. This is specifically for veterans.
Oh, that's right. Okay, you said that. Refresh this
And
again.
the previous one was for general, like for everyone who rents a home.
Yep. Okay. Oh, he has an Instagram account. So that's probably why you're doing advantage. So yeah, advantage placements will help if you're doing Instagram. I don't know how this niche performs on Instagram. Generally, the niche I work with the motivated seller leads, Instagram doesn't usually work as well, but it might be fine for mortgage loan officers. Yeah, you've got the image. This is good with the red line here. I've seen that a lot. That helps get attention. That's great. Multi-advertiser ads. I don't know if having this on or not is helping you. I'd have to think about that for this niche. I don't know if that is to have on or not.
By the way, what does that means?
Hold on, let's go up. So I think this has more to do with if you're doing like e-commerce kind of stuff. I'm not 100% sure. I never use it. But it looks like it's for, Shopify stores, like e-commerce kind of stuff. I don't know exactly how it works, but I don't, so usually if I understand something like that, I normally don't turn it on because I don't know exactly what it's going to do. The rest of this looks fine. Yeah, let's just look at, okay, so let's just look at your actual performance here. I'll have to close.
We need to refresh again.
Yeah. What browser is this? Is this Chrome?
This is Brave.
Oh, you're
This
using
will-
Brave browser. That might be
No,
why.
like my ad account isn't opening in Chrome. Facebook always has issue with me.
Can I close it? Still won't let me close it. Hmm. Yeah, that's it's really obnoxious. Maybe if I hit this one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to close this. It's like frozen.
Yeah, click there. Okay, yeah.
There we go. That's weird. Okay. All right. So let's see here. You got maximum. We're on performance and clicks. We've got 2 and 2. So this just started.
Yeah.
Okay. So so I mean, yeah, $4 a lead and $10 a lead. That's fine. Like it's not enough data to really tell which is doing better. This one obviously has a higher CPC. This is lower. This is way higher though. Is this a different ad copy?
No,
Or is it-
same hard copy.
Same ad copy, just the image.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is obviously getting a higher click-through rate, but the cost per lead is higher. So ultimately it comes down to the cost per lead, and you just don't have much data left, or much data yet. But this ad overall, like performance-wise, looks like this one's doing much better. Your CPM is higher though. So
Yeah.
the ad itself, for the audience that it's reaching, the ad itself is performing better, but it's more expensive to run it for whatever reason. And so that's why your cost per lead here is higher than this one. So right now, you just haven't spent enough. Like this is just, it hasn't spent enough to really, and also you're doing this across 3 different states. So I wouldn't do anything here. I would just let this run because you're getting leads in. It seems like this is good cost per lead. You just have to wait and see. It's not even out of the phase yet, right?
Yeah, but the issue is that it will get higher and higher by day. Like after a week, it will get like around $20 per lead.
Right. Okay. So in that case, you need to look at a couple things. Number one, you look at the frequency, right? This is a little concerning right here. Your frequency is getting up to 1.38 already. And you just started the campaign, which is, I don't know why it's doing that. Like that seems a little strange.
Is that because of competition?
But I'm saying like this one is,
Can you just hold on?
what's that? Oh, sorry, did I lose you? I think you're muted, but basically what I was saying is just that the reason an ad fatigues is because frequency starts going too high, meaning the same people start seeing it again and again. And at that point, you're going to want to change.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, man. Yeah.
Okay. But did you hear what I said? Does that make sense?
Can you please repeat again?
Yeah, so basically when the frequency goes high, like if it gets close to 2, that means the same people are seeing the ad again and again, right? And so you need to change something at that point. Usually you're going to change the image. That's the first thing I usually change. But if you've tested changing the image and it's just not getting anywhere, then you probably want to switch either the audience or the ad copy at that point. The other thing is you're testing a lot of different ad copies, I think, right? So you'd want to look at that. But that's usually what happens. Is just that your audience is showing the same people again, and then you need to change the images. You can't just run the same image for forever. Eventually, it'll just stop performing.
So if we just have one after a week, so I need to change it again after a week.
Well, what's your KPI? Like, what is the number that you're trying to stay under for your ads?
Around $15.
15. Okay, so let's say that you're getting close to $15 per lead. At that point, then you want to split test something alongside that ad, right? So you've got your one ad running, let's say it's getting at $15 a lead. Okay, so it's at KPIs, it's not over KPIs yet, but it's at KPIs. So then you're gonna wanna split test something next to it, right?
Yeah.
To see if you can, and keep doing that to see if you can get something else to start performing better. If you start going over KPI, like let's say you start getting $25 a lead, right? And you check the charts. Like I always look here too at, we go to view charts. We go to, last 7 days or something. I always look at this to look at lead flow, right? So this went nothing to nothing, like this is not enough data. But let's say that, this was kind of up and down, like a normal chart would be, you have like 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, like, just leads coming in. And then it starts to show you like nothing for 2 or 3 days. And then you get a lead and then a nothing for 3 days. Like obviously what you're going to see is over the last 7 days, the cost per lead is going to be higher than over the last 14 days. You're going to start to see that cost per lead start going up and up. And when it starts to get above your KPIs, then you need to temporarily pause the old ad and just be testing new stuff, right? I usually just write like temp pause, like just temporarily pause it. So I can come back to it and maybe use it again later. But if it's already over your KPIs, you need to pause it. You need to start testing other things. And this is why, using dynamic kind of ads is helpful at the beginning because you can see what's working, but then you need to narrow down and just go with the best performers. And then when the best performers burn out, they hit ad fatigue, you have to keep testing new stuff. And I like to split test. I like to save the budget by split testing one thing at a time usually. Unless you have a lot of budget and you're targeting a really wide area, which in this case you're doing statewide over 3 states. So you have that freedom to do dynamic testing because your cost per lead is much lower. So that's really helpful.
Makes sense.
All right. Farzad and Natalie, I see you guys joined. Great to have everybody here. Does anyone else have any other ad accounts or any other questions you guys want to go over? Or Harsh, if you have any other questions, I think, we probably.
I just have a last question. So do you have anything to increase appointment rates, appointment show-ups?
That's a whole different topic. So that's different than your ads. It's related to your ads though. So is, again, I'm not 100 as familiar with the mortgage loan space as I am with the real estate investing space, but you want to obviously qualify people with your ad copy. So number one, your ad copy needs to attract the right type of people. Your audience, the audience that you target needs to attract the right type of people. So right now you're using broad or open audiences, right?
Yeah.
So what you want to do with a basically broad and open audience, that's fine if you get a low cost per lead, but if you see that your quality is struggling, another thing you can do with the audience is start testing interest-based audiences, right? Real estate interests, so that at least the audience you're putting your ads in front of, they're already thinking along those lines in the audience. Like the algorithms, it just helps the algorithm a little bit, right? So that's one thing you can do. The other thing is make sure that your ad copy qualifies for the right type of people. So it basically speaks to the type of people that you want to attract. Because the first thing you're going to attract them with is the image, right? So your image has to attract them, right? First, but then the ad copy has to disqualify them.
So I can mention credit score and income.
Sure. Right. And then, what's up, Jonathan? And then you've got your website, right? Or if you're doing lead forms. So your website is going to qualify or disqualify people as well, depending on what questions you ask. Okay. But then let's say that you're attracting the right people with your audience. You have a good offer, right? With the ad copy. Okay. So you're getting the right people to submit. There's always going to be percentages and numbers, right? So there's always going to be a certain number of people that just, they just no show. And there's going to be a certain number of people that are interested, but not that motivated. And there's going to be people they're great, right? There's always a spectrum. What you really need to do is number one, follow up quickly with the leads.
We do that with Goa level.
What's that?
Yeah, we do follow up with Goa levels, automated messages, campaigns.
Right, so that's only one piece though, right? You should be sending them an email, you should be sending them, they should be getting text messages, so you need to make sure that your landing page is built so that, you know, they can opt in to get text messages, you can send them ringless voicemails, but then the client needs to be calling them ideally within 5 minutes, like within 3 to 5 minutes, you need to be calling they need to be calling those leads, as well as the emails, the text, the ringless voicemails. That will increase the show up rates, as well as you can do like a booking, like for the mortgage. I don't know about as your niche as much as I do mine, but I think for your niche, it's more applicable maybe to actually have a calendar where they can book a meeting.
Yeah, we do that with landing page. Thank you, landing page.
Okay, perfect. So then it's just follow-up. Like you have to send the reminders, like let's say they book a meeting, there needs to be something in Go High Level or on the client's Calendly or whatever you're using that is sending them, right?
Yeah, we
text.
also have that.
Okay, so you've got that. So, I mean, if you've done all that, then really it's just a numbers game. And you just want to over time make like tweak things, right? Split test. Then the client needs to be involved in this too. It's not just your responsibility. Like you can't do all this on your own because you're not the one talking to all the leads, like, right? You're the one running the ads. So your job is to produce the lead flow, right? And get feedback from your client to help you do your job. The client's job is then to kind of look at the data and from a wider perspective, right? And look at, okay, right now, these are our show up rates. These are how many we're closing, or you know, this is our ROI. And they need to look at all those numbers, and they need to think as well and work with you to make changes so that, you know, you guys can test different things to try to improve over time. It's nothing that's going to happen like really fast. Like this is the thing, is a lot of people expect results too quickly. And with any marketing you do, with any business that you do, it's, you always have to test different things. You always have to try things. You always have to, right? That's just part of the process. But really it's the follow-up and the speed at which you follow up, right? Those are the two biggest things, other than just getting the right type of client to come through the funnel.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
yeah, okay. Thanks, Derek, and thanks for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Does anybody else have questions or anything you guys want to go over? And feel free to turn your cameras on if you guys have cameras, you know, or just raise your hands, say something in the chat, speak up, whatever you guys want to do.
Hey, I had a question. So what's the difference between the frequency and then the reach number?
So reach is the total number of people, individual people that have actually seen your ad. Does that make sense? Whereas the frequency is how many times each of those people in reach have seen the ad on their newsfeed, right? So there's a difference between reach and impressions. Reach is the total number of people your ad has shown to. An impression is every impression is one time it showed up on their newsfeed. So if you have 1,000 for reach, that means your ad is shown to 1,000 people. And let's say you have 2,000 impressions. That means that each of those 1,000 people has seen your ad twice. So the frequency would be 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And would that also help determine if like the ad is like fatigue, like
Yes.
it's not working anymore?
Whether it's working or not is dependent on the lead flow. So if you see leads coming in and you're still getting leads, then your frequency, like I have an ad I'm running for a client right now, its frequency is like 3.5.
That's a lot, right?
But it's for a different business. It's for a cleaning company, right? So you're doing real estate investing, and for the wholesaling space, the investing space, for those type of ads, normally when the ads get up to like 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, you're gonna see it usually slow down. And at that point, you know, if it's still producing leads though, like, and it's a good cost per lead, don't shut it off. Test something alongside of it. Okay. But yeah, normally when the frequency gets to about 2, that's when I start to notice that the cost per lead starts going up. And you just need to test a different image is usually the fastest way to fix that. If you're testing lots of different images though, and you're just getting nothing, then maybe try testing different ad copies, maybe a new audience. You have to start to change other things.
Would you say like to test it would be to like leave it for like a few days? And then if nothing happens, then turn it off?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you test something new, you want to give it enough budget and enough time. So that's number one. But sometimes you can tell immediately if something is doing worse. So let's say that your normal cost per lead is $20 and then you've spent $60 on an ad or $50 on an ad, right? And it's generated nothing, that you're basically at double your KPI or whatever it is, or your current cost per lead. So in that case, yeah, turn it off. But let's say that your cost per click right off the bat is super high. Like it's like $10 a click. Like obviously that ad is not doing well. Or let's say your CPM is like $90, $100. Like obviously Facebook doesn't like it. So in that case, you can turn it off faster.
Okay, and then just turn it off and then just test something new, right? Like maybe change the header or change the image.
The image is going to be the highest impact normally. Yep. But yeah, headlines and images are normally the two things that you test differently.
But when you say testing, you mean not to do it too drastic, right? Like not test like lead form versus landing page, right?
No, don't change that. If you've gotten leads through your lead forms, if you've gotten leads through your landing page, then it's working. But I mean, and you can make changes to that later, but usually the first thing to test differently is your image, because that's the first thing that people see. It's the fastest way to get feedback.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And you said even if it's like a lot of people, like there's a lot of people that keep seeing it again, like the reach and the impressions, like you see that a lot of people are seeing it, but if you're getting leads from it, then just keep it on, right?
Yeah, unless it's like really, really high cost per lead and it doesn't make sense. But let's say that it's within a cost per lead that works for you, then yeah, I would leave it on and test other things next to it. Because usually if something's working well on Facebook, you don't want to turn it off because you can disrupt the algorithm's work it's done, right? To optimize it on its own. So I normally, if something is working well or it's within or near our KPI, I leave it on and I test other things next to it to try to get that down over time, or just see if I can test and find something else that's going to work better.
Oh, but I never edit that ad, right? I just duplicate and then
Yep.
test.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
duplicate it so that you're not disturbing the original ad, and just test it right alongside it, or do it in a new ad set, or normally you want to keep everything in one campaign though, unless you're doing something really different. So
Got it. Okay. Because my budget is like $50 a day. So I'm just running, I guess, I would just run one ad. And then if it's not working, then maybe I can test another one for another $50 a day, or would
Yep.
like 15 work?
Well, let's say that you've got one campaign, and
Yeah.
in that campaign, you have two ad sets. Okay, you can
Yeah.
run one ad set at $50 a day. You can run the other ad set at $50 a day. That'd be $100 a day total. And then in each ad set, you could test 1, 2, 3 ads at a time. I usually do 2 at a time. Or you could just do one ad set at $50 and test 2 ads within that ad set at a time, right? The other way is kind of like what we were looking at Harsh's ads. He was looking at, he was doing a lot of it used to be called CBO, but basically where you set the budget at the campaign level, and then you have multiple ad sets and you let Facebook decide where the budget goes. That's another way to do it. It's just, I think with your market in particular, your cost per lead is going to be higher in that market, just based on all the stuff that I've done in that market and seen. So I would be careful about testing too much at once, just because your cost per lead is already going to be higher, right? So you're going to need more budget anyways to do the testing.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying that the ad set, that's the thing that controls the budget, right? Not the actual ad inside the ad set, right?
Well, where you set how much you want to spend, you can set it at the ad set level, unless you change your campaign settings to set it at the campaign level.
Okay. And then like if I put $50 a day for the ad set, then it's going to run those ads inside the ad set, right? Like it's going to split the budget of $50 for those 2 inside.
Sorry, say that again.
So like in the ad set, you said that I can set the budget to like $50 a day.
Correct.
But then inside the ad set, there's like 2 ads.
Yep.
Right? Would those 2 ads be running on that $50 budget?
Yeah, and Facebook would basically decide where the budget's going to go between the 2. This is why.
So you don't turn just one ad on and then let that one ad run for $50 a day.
If it's doing well, I will. If it's really performing well, I will. But normally, if it's the cost per lead's a little too high, and I want to try to get it down, then I'm going to test another ad next to it and see if Facebook thinks that it's performing better and pushes more budget there. This is why you don't want to test like 5, 6, 7, 8 ads in one ad set, because Facebook's only going to have enough budget to push it to a certain number of those ads. And it's just, you need the money spent so you can get data to make clear decisions. Otherwise it gets spread too thin and it's just a little harder. It takes a lot longer to tell what's working well. And even then, you know, you might have a good ad, but Facebook just doesn't push the money there. And so you just never know if it would have worked out or not. So.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else got any questions or any, if you guys want to share your screen, I'm happy to look at the accounts or whatever you guys want to do.
Quick question, Drake. Are you just doing some coaching on Google Ads too today?
I don't usually do coaching for Google Ads, but I can answer some questions if you have any questions on Google. Yeah.
Not very specific question. I just like wonder how can I see what's your process on running the Google Ads? Like any specific thing, any hints, any tips, especially for real estate?
Yep. Yeah. So the real estate investing, right? For motivated sellers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we do in Vancouver, we do generate leads for pre-sale or pre-construction. So again, learn more, hook, add, nurture, text message in first 3 minutes, and we're gonna just like we throw them in the different campaign, and as soon as they answer or they want to talk to someone, we set the appointment, we go from there. Pretty routine for every lead generation appointment setting agency. We are at the point that we increasing the number of our clients. So we used to do with 2 main clients. They each had 4 or 5 agents underhand. Now we just extending to the solo agent. So we are into the point that we're generating automated landing page for any project. So one agent gonna get like 5 to 10 different landing pages for different projects. My main question, or my main concern would be, are we gonna compete against our landing page and cost per lead and etc.? Are we gonna compete against our own team, or we can do that? Like, if I just want to put I want to make it short. So let's say that we do have project X coming in this neighborhood. So for 15 agents, we generate the landing page, we do the ads, and we're trying to dominate the market for that project. So like whoever click on any ad in social media or Google land in one of our agents' pages. We didn't start it yet. The automation, everything is in place. We didn't start the advertising on Google or social media. So I thought maybe you can help us with that question.
Got it. Okay, so basically this is one company with 15 different agents, right?
Correct.
Okay, and you've made a different landing page for each of the agents, and you're going to run a different Google campaign for each landing page?
Yeah, like that's what I had in mind. I was thinking maybe we should just do the ads through one account and then just split the leads between the agents.
Well, okay, so number one is you have to be careful, because with Google, if you want to use one ad account, if you're going to use one ad account for one business, which is the way Google wants it to be done, you need to have one domain in there. So what you can't do is you can't have a different domain for each of those landing pages. You could do one domain with multiple subdomains. But for example, if Google says like, hey, we need you to verify your account, right? You're going to have, that's going to be one business it's going to be verified for. So I don't know what that would fall under, but basically you'd want one account, one Google Ads account, one domain you're going to use. Each, I think, I'm pretty sure that each basically landing page could be a different subdomain. But it needs to fall under the same domain. And you're only going to want, again, one domain per Google ad account is what I would stick with. And again, one payment method too.
Oh, you're right.
These are things you have, and that payment method needs to match the business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
It should be their ad account. So it shouldn't, like, for example, if you're running ads for them, it shouldn't be your ad account. It should be their ad account. If you're going to manage it, have them add it to your MCC or, whatever you do like that.
Mhm.
And this is, so agents, so they're trying to get buyer and seller leads, is that right? Or just,
Oh, we're gonna, yeah, exactly. We trying to find the buyers for pre-constructions and just like nurture them, make them warm, pass them to the agent.
okay. So yeah, in terms of running ads for that specific situation, I haven't done that specifically, right? Mine are all geared towards motivated sellers for wholesalers, rehabbers, investors, but that's first thing is make sure that you are complying, that you're compliant with Google's like policies in terms of how you set that campaign up.
Mhm.
Because it could get a little tricky, you don't want to get a circumventing systems suspension on the account.
Right.
So, the other thing is like, if these were all different businesses, then you'd have a different ad account for each business. But if it's one business, multiple pages, then you just need to have one domain, I think, with multiple subdomains. Again, maybe double check on that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that could probably, you could do some research.
But
I'm sure, but
in terms of the strategy, what do you think as an expert in the ads and real estate?
yeah,
What do you think? Should we generate the leads ourselves and just like let should we play the hop? We generate the leads, we pass them around to the different agents, or I like the only thing that I thought like, let's say that you're searching for project X in Burnaby, Vancouver.
Yeah.
So we thought like putting those landing pages with different keywords and different faces of the agents, it might be handy with like let's say like different buyers, they have different tastes, some of them like to work with the same nationalities, some of them to work they would like to work with other nationalities. So that was the reason that I thought like maybe we should just do like 15 landing pages instead of one for that specific project.
Yeah, I mean, I would be the thing is, let's say that you're doing 15 different campaigns, right? And you're running it to the same kind of keywords, and you're doing it for the same location. Like those are all going to compete with each other.
Correct. Yeah,
right?
That was my concern too. So that's a valid concern.
Right. I don't know that that's the best way to do things, to be honest. I think running one campaign and then you'd have some sort of a round robin system and within the CRM, right? So you get the leads coming in through one landing page and they just basically get divided evenly among the different agents. I've seen that model before.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on working with real estate agents, but I have seen that model. And I just think that if you're going to run 15 different campaigns to one location, that's going to be like one campaign might perform well and the others just might not do anything. Like there's a risk of that. So that's the thing there. Now, you guys are looking for both buyers and sellers, and your retail leads as well as, motivated leads is fine, right? Like, so
no, just buyers, pre-construction buyers. Like, so that like, if you ask what my niche is, like pre-sale, pre-construction buyers, that's what we could turn into a product.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that could be a service.
So what I would recommend doing for that, so let's say that you choose to do one campaign, right? You have one domain, you have a landing page that maybe in your landing page, you could have it custom built so that it's a survey style, so that you ask questions based on how they answer the questions, you route the leads to different agents. That's could be right. That might take a little more customization, but when you're getting the leads in, when you're running the campaign and you're looking at, okay, what keywords do we target? So number one, I do broad phrase and exact match. You're going to have to do some keyword research though to figure out, like, just look at competitors, try to find people that are doing similar, look at what keywords they're targeting, get a lot of ideas. And then you have to put yourself in the position of the person on Google, like what they'd be searching in, and if that matches what the motivation you're going for. But the only thing to keep in mind is when you do broad match, like, in my niche, let's say that I run a keyword like we buy houses. Okay. I'm going to get searches from people that are, it could be sell my house fast. They might type in, real estate investor. They might type in buy a house in Tampa, Florida, right? Like all these things are related to we buy houses, right? So this is why you have to be very careful with broad match, and you have to have a very strong negative keywords list. So what I do personally, when I set the campaign up is, I'll set up it for multiple match types, but every day that we're running the campaign, especially at the beginning, I need to go in and I look at the search terms and I'm adding to our negative keywords list to basically direct the campaign in the right direction. Because if you don't, using a broad match, you're going to get lower cost leads, but there might be a lot of stuff you don't want, or you're just going to get clicks from people, right? That it's not like they're clicking and it's not a good match, because that you'll see that with broad match. So you have to look at individual keyword, how much it's spent, and also look at, maybe some keywords are just going to spend and not generate results. You have to look at that too. So that's number one, is use all three match types, but you have to have a good negative keywords list to filter. Okay. Number two is you want to group, you have your ad groups, right? You can have multiple ad groups. You want to theme them around certain themes, right? So let's say you have some keywords related to, like, for example, in my niche, let's say it's like we buy houses, right? That would be one ad group. So any keywords that talk about we buy houses, I'm going to put in that ad group, and I'm going to write ad copy that includes those terms in the ads themselves, so that it matches better, right? So when somebody, basically when someone searches on Google, like if you search for, I want to buy a new car, right? But I want it to be like a green Audi R8. I want to buy a green Audi R8, right? And you see an ad that says buy green Audi R8. You're more likely to click on that ad because it exactly matched what you searched for. However, if you type, buy a green Audi R8 and you see an ad, hey, buy a new sports car, it's related, but it's not as close to what you searched. So it's the same thing in any niche when you're doing Google ads. Your ad, the actual words you use in the ad needs to match the keywords. So this is why you want to group themed keywords in different ad groups. Okay. And then you need to write ad copy that matches those keywords. And at least test a couple different ads. The other thing to keep in mind is there's multiple ways to run a Google Ads campaign. You can do it for maximized clicks. You can do it for maximized conversions. They're both different styles. One is going to require a lot more nitty-gritty physical management, whereas the other relies more on Google's AI. From my understanding, Google's AI is much better to work with. And so it takes burden off of you to literally manage every little detail. So I recommend doing maximized conversions. You just need to have an idea. If you're going to set a target CPA, you need to have an idea of what that target is. Otherwise, just let the campaign run, and then you'll figure out what your target CPA is over time, and you can actually adjust that at the ad set level. So that's the way I would approach the campaign. Number one, do research. Number two, theme your ad groups. Number three, write ad copy that matches those themes. And then, then you go from there. The other thing is in your targeting, I don't know how much this matters for your niche, but always add exclusions. Always exclude places you don't want to target. And in the housing category specifically, you cannot target by zip code. You need to do it by counties or by cities. So that's awesome. That's how I would approach your specific, from what I understand. Right?
Of course. Thank you so much, Derek. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so we've got, if I want to qualify, Harshad, if I want to qualify people on the ad copies, 620 plus credit, 30 plus income, do I need to remove old working ad copies? In your current ad copy, if you're qualifying them differently than that, like, I think you just, in your ad copy, just be careful you're following Facebook's policies, because I think Facebook can be a little picky if you start saying like, hey, do you have a credit above this and this amount of money? Like, I don't think I don't think Facebook is okay with asking that in the ad copy directly.
Yeah,
right?
we can ask as a FICO.
Right. So if there's, I don't know if there's like a very vague way to try to
we can say FICO score.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, whatever is compliant with Facebook, just that's number one. Make sure that you're following their policies so your ads don't get rejected. But number two, do you need to remove the old working ad copies? If they're working, no. Like, again, if something's working, just leave it running. Or even if it's let's say it was working well in the past and you don't want to use it anymore, just pause it at the ad level. And then if you ever want to come back to it, you can use it again. Just don't turn things off. If you're going to turn them off, don't turn it off at the campaign level or the ad set level, right? Usually just, if you want to pause it, just turn it off at the ad level. But if you're totally done with it, then you can, and you're not going to use it again, then sure, turn it off at the campaign level. But the thing is, if you turn it off at the campaign or the ad set level, it's just going to go back to the learning phase when you turn it back on. So you don't need to remove old ad copy, just pause them. But if you're going to test a new ad, definitely duplicate and create new ads, right? So that your data doesn't get mixed up. You want to test differently, right? Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. It's basically, so it's 2 o'clock. I've got to head out here pretty soon. Does anyone else have any last questions before we jump off here? And I tried to get this to go to Google, or I tried to live stream this to Facebook, and it gave me an error or something. So I got to figure out that so I can actually live stream this in the group. But this is recorded, so I'll post this. If anyone else has any questions, though, I'm happy to
The
answer.
very last question, Derek, for me,
Yeah.
is it going to be like a weekly routine, or it's just, you don't know yet?
I'm not sure yet. I think I'd like to, or at least maybe like bi-weekly. I kind of wanted just to test it out though, and just see, you know, if it was helpful to people. But yeah, I might try to do this like bi-weekly. I think might be good. But I got to figure out how to get this live stream to Facebook. I tried to get that. I tried to get it to go live in the group, and it gave me an error. Some permissions there. I've got to figure out what button I got to press. But yeah, I'll definitely post updates about it in the group. I think you know, I think something like bi-weekly or maybe once a month to start, or maybe I'll go to weekly at some point, or you know, I'll just kind of see if people thought it was helpful, and maybe I'll keep doing it. So
Awesome. Yeah, always helpful. I'm a big fan, always checking on your tips. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the time and the effort that you put on the group, providing the tips. That's awesome. Hope we can work one day together.
yeah, no, awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks, Rick.
Cool. Well, I hope that you all got some benefit out of this, and I'll go ahead and post this in the group. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Later, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.